What's up? What's up? What's up? It's your girl Candy J, your favorite certified clinical sexologist, relationship coach, marriage bootcamp coach, medical marriage facilitator, certified clinical sexologist through the Dr. Rachel Institute and the American Colleges of Sexology, premarital and marital counselor. Okay, am I done? Am I done with all the accolades? Seven principles for making marriage work. Gottman leader. Okay. We'll talk about that later on in this show. But hey, y'all, it's Candyology Radio, and I have somebody sitting. Well, is it to my left, to my right? Okay. On camera, it might be to my right, but to my left, to my left, to the left, to the left. Oh, okay. Anyway. Who you be, girl? Who you be?
Hello, everybody. I am Mrs. Kayla Stuson. Emphasis on the Mrs.
Mrs.
Kayla
You heard that, right?
I am the owner of Thrive Consulting Financial Planning, the wife of the Marcus Stuson, and a mom of two gorgeous little boys.
So that means we have a lot to talk about, y'all. And if you haven't noticed, this episode is called Family Business and Jesus. So we'll be right back. Yeah. Okay, because my brain, I be going.
Well, the new year came in, but that was technically been that Monday.
Yeah. Okay. All right. See, I'm not crazy. I'm not going crazy, y'all. But what a wonderful way to bring in the new year. Y'all know that my podcast has been offline. I mean, y'all seen me go live, but the podcast's been off live for like a whole year now, and I was so excited to bring it back, and especially with my sister to be my first one back. I'm so ecstatic about this interview. Listen. Now listen. Both of us are a little crazy, so we're gonna take you on a little ride, just a little bit. Just
strap in.
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, you started out like telling us, okay, you're a wife, you're a mother. What else are you? A business owner. But how do you get here? Like, who are you for real?
Who am I?
Who is you, girl?
I'm originally from Oklahoma, so please, I know my twang is a different kind of twang than the twang is down here.
I don't know, because I have a different one, too.
Okay, there we go. Originally from Oklahoma, I have an amazing sister who is also big in the church. Her and her husband started a church a couple of years back. My sister is one of my rocks. Love you, Q. I was a product of a divorced household, so that was really weird. My parents split my 8th grade year, so my sister had just left for college, and I was home to deal with it by myself. Going into teenage years on top of that. So we got all the they were like, is this rebellion or is this divorce? Nobody really knew. So anger management classes didn't work. I refused to go. I was like, I'm not angry. Y'all are tripping. So worked through that, which resulted in a multitude of, well, not a multitude. When I loved hard, right? So I never wanted to have to go through that. My parents from both sides were always still there for me, heavily. There was never an absentee there. But the relationships I did have long term obviously didn't work out because God's plans are different than my plans, and luckily they didn't work out. Look at God. But in the next. Now I met my husband. We actually grew up in the same church together. Our grandparents used to double date, but I didn't really know much about him. So he was always like my grandmother was like the mother of the church, and he kind of like came like he's like one of the Easter. Like, was it Easter, Christmas?
CME.
Yeah.
Yes.
Y'all know who you are. But he was one of those. And so I remember it was a specific Sunday he had came in with this chick. And I was like, I wonder what this dude's about. And I left it at that. He was in the choir one day, didn't know the words. We made eye contact. So I slid in them DMs. And I was like,
wait a minute. Wait. You slid in the DMs?
Yes.
Shut the front door, the back, and the side. Oh, wait. And as she shows us the rock, right?
No, I just, and all I said was like, man, don't you hate when they start singing songs that you don't know? And here we are now. It'll be 15 years in February.
Oh
15
my
years later.
God. Oh my God. Okay, so go back because you gave us a lot of information, like real quick.
I tried to do this.
Yeah, no, you can't do that to me. Okay. So let's go back. Okay, you said product of divorce. So as a kid, thinking back, like, did you see the divorce coming?
My sister shielded me a lot. A lot of the times where I thought she was just being like fun and goofy with me, like pulling the air mattress out and us sleeping in the living room. My bedroom wall was my parents' bathroom wall. And so, and like, I think my sister kind of had, she's 6 years older than me. So she kind of had a sense of when, like, if somebody wasn't having a good day. And so she would say, okay, we're going to have a pallet in the front. I'd be like, bet, movie night, let's go. So she shielded me from a lot of that. My mom tried to shield me from a lot, tried to keep everything as normal as possible. She is like the true definition of like servant wifedom, if that's a word. Because regardless of what was going on, she never stopped serving him or the family until everything happened. So she was like, I know that I did everything that I could have possibly done to save this, but at the end of the day, some people just don't want it. Now, my dad did, like, at the end of it, he did say, okay, I'm ready, you know, I want to come back. And me and my sister said, absolutely not.
Okay. And your mom listened?
At that point, my sister was my sister had come back to visit. I was in high school. My mom had just kind of got to a better place. They had been together for 20-something. They had been together since 6th grade. And so she had just finally kind of got to an okay place when he tried to do this, and me and my sister was like, no. So she asked our wives. We explained our wives, and obviously, you know, she sought wise counsel on her own too. But you know, there's in some situations, not all, which obviously I'm not gonna put my parents out there like that, but in some situations there are some things that that cannot be dealt with or moved on from or accepted. So we absolutely not.
So did you and your sister, like, so after they divorced, did you and your sister have like those in-depth conversations of what she was shielding you from?
No, like, so me and my sister actually didn't really get along that much. Like, obviously, because we have a 6-year gap. My sister was the jock and I was the choir kid, like the choir drama, and she was like track, baseball, soccer, like all the stuff. And not soccer, basketball, track, and baseball is what my sister did. And I was just like, child, we have nothing in common. But no, everybody was kind of like, you know, Kayla's not happy, nobody's happy. And I was like, that's really, I mean, slightly true.
Wait, what's your sign, Kayla?
I'm an Aries.
Oh, God. Okay, that's number one why we get along. And March 26th. Hello.
April 10th.
Look at them April people. Them April Aries are different.
See, now y'all
They're different breeds.
I don't know. I don't really follow horoscopes stuff like that. I don't know. Now look, there's a little piece of me, the science part of me. The science in me, because I love science, y'all. The science in me says, okay, you know what? During different times of the year, you eat different food. The temperature is different, which messes with this. And if it happens to fall into that, like, I don't know. I'm one of those weird people, but that's just it. But no, so
no, there's nothing. I mean, there's plenty of people that don't believe in the zodiac stuff, right? But I definitely believe in the basic foundations of stuff. And every Aries that I know, every male or female, that is April Aries is a different breed, and every March Aries is a different breed. And I can only speak for my own sign. That's all I'm going to do, because I could speak for some other ones, but we're not going to do that. I'm not a Gemini. I'm not a Virgo. So, who's a Virgo? Oh, the baby.
Yeah. You heard him in the background. Makes sense now.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But watch out, he's gonna be so inquisitive.
Oh, here it is.
Okay. Father, in the name. Okay.
Okay.
So wait, and what is Marcus?
A Pisces.
He's
March.
The beginning of March.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So he's a Pisces.
And then my oldest is a Leo. We got all the signs.
You got all of the fire in the house too, though. So that's gonna be interesting later. Okay, so she didn't really talk to you about what happened after. Not even like now. Like
they tried, like when my parents split, because my sister knew more because she was older, obviously. When my parents split, we kind of split parents too.
Mm-hmm, that happens.
So my sister was more so like with my mom and everything, and I was more so my dad. Me and my dad have a very similar personality, because my dad's side of the family is, okay, I made a mistake. What are we gonna do to fix it? Let's not talk about the mistake. The mistake has been done. There, I can beat you over the head with it. We're beating a dead horse. What are we gonna do to fix it? Mm-hmm. And my dad's always been really open with me, really real with me. He's always been really understanding. Not to say that my mom hasn't, but I didn't form that relationship with her because of this. So I am a daddy's girl. I mean, it's tattooed to my back, literally.
You told me.
I have a whole daddy's girl tattooed to my back shoulder. It was a Father's Day gift.
And he paid for it. Okay.
No, he didn't.
No, he paid for it. Okay.
No,
I paid for it.
I paid for it, and I was like, hey, look, happy Father's Day.
Oh.
But yeah, so we
you know,
as I got older, my parents, like my mom tried to tell me stuff. She actually has an entire journal, and she wanted to give it to me and my sister to read through to get an understanding of her side, and I told her I didn't want it, because that's your truth is your truth, right? Your experiences are your experiences, but whatever happened between y'all didn't happen to me. Right. And I used to say that to her all the time. Like, me and my mom was in a bad space, y'all. Like, I used to tell my mom, like, he left you, he didn't leave me. But that was that kid.
Oh.
I was like,
wait, I want to make sure you speak it up loud enough for people to hear what you just said. Say that again.
Like, I told my mom, I was like, he left you, he didn't leave me. But, like, in saying, like, and that was, again, I was 13, 14-ish. I had a couple years back, like, a lot of years back. I had that conversation with my mom where I apologized for how disrespectful I was to her, and in realizing that she was really she was the like the foundational one, like the stable one. Like, not to say my dad wasn't stable, but she was the one that I stayed with. I was there with her, and so she's trying to keep everything as normal as possible. I'm rebelling at a normal high school rebellious behavior. On top of trying to deal with the divorce, on top of my sister leaving, so my home environment is different now. So now it's just me and my mom trying to figure this out. Because, like, I remember the exact day my dad left. I can tell you what I was wearing, what he was wearing, what my mom was wearing, what I ate that day, what I was watching on TV, what he said to me, what she said to me. I can give it all to you.
Wow.
But I don't really have any memories of all four of us in the house. So
do you think because of trauma you blocked it out?
That's what they keep telling me. That's what they keep telling me. But I'm not the only one with that diagnosis. But that's just, I mean, like, but there was never any physical abuse that I saw. There was never any verbal abuse that I saw. Well, I mean, that I can remember. Like, I think, like, I would remember somebody going up against my mom's head. Like, I feel like that's traumatic enough that ain't something you can block out. So I don't know if it was just the uncomfortable, you know, how, like, just tension in the household. I don't know if it was that. I don't know if it was just, like, the random disagreements. But I have memories at my aunt's house. I have memory at my grandmother's house. But it's a very, unless you really pull it out of me, I don't really have any before like 12 or 13.
Have you ever thought about hypnosis?
No.
She said that quick.
I'm
Are you scared of it? Is that what it is? Or do you just not want to know?
No, I mean, I just, because at this point, that was, okay, how old? I'm 36. I'm 36. That happened when I was 13.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my parents are fine now. Me and my sister, like, I talk to my sister, like, at least, if I don't talk to her at least once a day, like, I stay stuck with girls. I'll be like, girl. Where are you? You're at work? You're not going to work here? It is 12:30. You're on lunch.
Oh my God.
My dad, I talk to my dad 2-3 times a day. Like, I talk to him typically, like, as I'm dropping the boys off, I might catch him in the middle of the day, and normally when I get the boys back at the end of the day. And me and my mom just got to a point where I talk to her at least once a day, if not once every other day.
Yeah. Remind me to tell you my story off camera. No, I'm so transparent. Y'all, if you've been here before, you know my father died 4 days before my birthday. We buried him on my birthday. My mom and my mom was the pastor, and we're not close. So if you've been here, you know the story. So I'll have to fill Kayla in. But so I'm like that with my friends. Like, there are certain people that I have to talk to every day, and I'm like, excuse me, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I swear to God, I get on my nobody's nerves. Like, good morning,
hello,
yeah, and you didn't tell me you love me before you. Oh, okay. Trash, straight trash. So, okay, so being a product of divorce, right? How did that shape and view your idea for going into marriage?
Me and so when I first started talking to Marcus, I had just got out of a relationship. Didn't I know that he was kind of like in an on and off again relationship? That was new to me. But we both started this like, I don't want a relationship with you. Like, I just need you to like fill some space. But we ended up becoming like really good friends, and then feelings got involved, and I ended up pregnant, and I was like, I'm not feeding my baby mama, and like he's in the hands. The friends started.
Feelings got involved, and then what happened? You wanted to pregnant?
Yeah. So
okay.
we like me and Marcus would tell me about the girls that he went to go like the date he had the night before. And we would sit and talk about that or whatever. Like he would just tell me like, oh yeah, you know, I went over to so and so. I was like, oh, for real? Like that one? Like, you got another one that you could be doing? That's how close we were. But then feelings got involved, and that was on my fault. Like not my fault. It wasn't my fault, but that was on me first.
Nobody's fault.
And things just progressed. And then at one point, we were both. I was just like, I can't do this. I can't do this anymore. I was like, oh my God, I'm pregnant. Chad, I thought I had a sinus infection. And I was like, I got good. I was young, y'all, so I got good insurance. We're going to see what this is. That lady came back in there. She said, you're pregnant. I said, what? She said, you're pregnant. I said, she goes, are those tears of happiness or tears of sadness? I was like, am I crying? Oh, yeah, I am crying. I don't know. I was 23. 24, 23. I was one of them. When I thought I was pregnant. Chad, I called Marcus. He was at work. He's like, did you go to the doctor? I said, yeah. What she said, I said, I'm pregnant. His exact response was, okay. Okay, I'm gonna call you when I get off. I said, okay. And you were talking about your best friends. I have 2 best friends I've had since high school. Shout out Casey and Tia. They are my mirrors. They are another set of my rocks. Like, one is my nuck if you buck. The other is the Kayla. See, I'm talking about this. So it's a really good evening. Give a piece of them. But Casey, I called her. She goes, are you okay? I said, I don't know. She said, have you told your parents yet? I said, nope. And then, like, I wasn't living with my parents. I had been living by myself for a while. But she met me at her door with like a little lined trash can, a box of tissues. She was like, she goes, I didn't know if you wanted to cry or throw up or both. Here you are. So I went in and we're just kind of talking. She's like, how do you feel? I was like, I don't know. Like, I'm really scared. I don't know why I was scared to tell my parents because they weren't supporting me financially. I wasn't living at home But growing up in the church, you know, this is like the ultimate, oh my God, I went home. Yeah. So she's like, are you going to call him? I was like, can I call him from here? She's like, yeah. So I called my dad, and his immediate response was, I'm going to call you back. And he hung up, and I was like, oh my God. He's going to murder me. But, you know, honestly, I don't really remember my mom's response. I remember the response when I told her I was having a boy. She goes, what are we going to do with a boy? I said, girl, I don't know.
Right.
My whole family is nothing but girls. Marcus's whole family is nothing but boys. And like, child, I don't know what we have. Can't put no bows on this, no tutus on that, right. Trucks and dinosaurs.
No.
But so when that happened, me and Marcus went through a really turbulent time. He was like, well, you already had this not the pregnancy, but the whole plan. He's like, you had this planned out. Like, you were going to move in, we were going to get married. I told you I wasn't ready. And I was like, anybody planning nothing, sir? Let's talk about this. Because I moved Marcus, we had Xavier. I moved in with him at 6 months. Because at that point, Xavier was just kind of like, because of schedules, he was having to go to like different houses throughout the day before he made it back home. Mm-hmm. And I was like, it would just make more sense because they were money. Because Marcus had a house. I was like, for me to move out my apartment, just move in with you. Like, yeah, I moved right back out in 6 months. We weren't ready. We weren't. His mindset wasn't ready. My mindset was, like, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. But if I gotta, like, cause he worked a lot. So he was working 2 jobs. So yeah, his daytime job, and he was like waiting tables later just for the extra cash of it all. But he was like working all day Saturday, and I was like, if I'm gonna have to do this by myself, technically, like I'm not, but I am, then I'm just gonna be in my own space where I don't have to worry about your mood swings and my mood swings and irritated about Zay, like if he needs to be in the tub. Like I know you just got off work, but I also just got off, like, so I moved back out.
Wow.
Got my car. I remember the first day I moved out because I was a daycare worker. And so I went grocery shopping at Dollar Tree to make sure that we had food for this. And he was like, why didn't you just ask me? Like, Kayla, it's not that big of a deal. Like, if you just needed the extra for, like, he's like, you should have asked me. I said, no.
No, you were that prideful one.
He was like, the one thing he always told me, when I had Xavier, I met Marcus's dad for the first time when I had Zay. And he goes, my knuckleheaded son don't come through you. You know, I'm always going to be there and you don't ever want to bump or nothing. Blah, 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 blah. And that man has held to that to this day. And I was like, oh, daddy, what I'll call you. But no, he was like, one thing that Marcus did, even on the times where me and him weren't seeing eye to eye or we weren't on the same field, Xavier never wanted or even needed for anything. Marcus always came through for him, whether it was daycare, clothes, shoes, whatever. Marcus has always been a provider, like to this day, like ultimate provider.
So with that, then how did y'all get back to wanting to be with each other?
I'm gonna condense this.
Well, you know, I'll let you know if you stifle me.
So me and Marcus finally decided that we were gonna attempt to try to work this out. He came clean about an on again, off again relationship that he was in with this lady that was at the church as well. Like we said, like this in the choir. He came clean about that.
Bro.
It's a whole story. Shameless plug. Go to YouTube, the Studsons.
Mm-hmm.
And this whole section is actually like we turned it into like a little short video blog.
It's not a shameless plug. What the Studsons? Go look it up
on YouTube.
You know, click on the button. Like, share, subscribe. Okay,
all the things.
All the things.
So when he finally, I remember the night he came in and he told me because we were asleep, because I had put boundaries in place with Marcus at that point because we were going to try to make things. Oh, back up. Marcus had told me that he was in this on again, off again relationship with this chick who was also married. Her husband's name was Marcus too. That's the funny part.
Wait,
it's in the thing. It's in the stories. It's in the story.
Wait. See, I told you I was gonna stop.
But she was the ones that's like we're separated. We're gonna be divorced. Like I don't want him. I want you. It was one of those. So Marcus is kind of like I don't really know because I try not to whatever. Okay. But when he finally told me about what was going on, my immediate I was already upset with my church anyway because they set me down at the choir when I was pregnant. I was like, you got all these flamboyant people in this choir saying, you talking about me. I was like, well, you're saying it's obvious, it's blatant, and with that, it's an assumption. I was like, he has on a woman's engagement ring. That is not an assumption. But digress, right? Which really hurt because like I was conceived at this church. Mm-hmm. Like my entire family is this church, but I had already left.
Right.
And I had started a new church. I didn't know why God was pulling me to People's Church. People's Church in Evan, Oklahoma. If y'all are out there, hit them up. Was technically Oklahoma City, but if you're out there, hit them up. Pastor Cooper. But I was like, God, it's really weird that you're pulling me. He put me into this group of women. They have small groups that meet up. Beautifully blessed, shameless plug. Y'all know who y'all know who y'all are. And plugged me into this group of women. So when all of this happened, when Marcus told me it would have to be about 1 o'clock in the morning when he finally told me what happened. We were at my apartment. And I gave him a hug. And I walked out. He said, where are you going? I said, I'll be back. I was headed to my ex's house. I had a relationship with him that no matter what time of day, no matter what was going on, I could pick up the phone and call him. And he would answer. Like, we kind of had that pact. Me and him had dated for like 2.5, 3 years. And we had kind of made a friendship pact with each other. Like, no matter who I'm dating, no matter what's going on, if you need me, I'm here for you. So that's where I was headed. But there was a homeland right apart, or like literally across the street from the duplex addition that he lived at. And something told me to stop. So I stopped and I called Shelby, which is one of the girls in the group. She goes, he didn't have to tell you. I don't want your rationality right now. She's like, he didn't have to tell you. He's trying to come clean. So obviously this isn't something that he wants to keep doing. She goes, don't go over there. It's going to make it worse. I didn't call or nothing. I was just going to pop up. And she was like, don't do it, Kayla. So she sat with me. She prayed with me. And I turned around and I went back to my apartment. Marcus was still sitting on the coffee table, like in front of the front door when I got back. And so as soon as I opened the door, he stood up and he was like, where'd you go? And I was like, away. And so he ended up breaking down and crying on me. I literally, like, he's on my lap. I literally, like, laid over him and began praying over him. Because I was like, at the end of the day, regardless of everything that we went through, because we had that friendship foundation, like, and I really knew him, I was like, of course I don't want you just torn up over a chick, but especially when it ain't me. But as my friend, like, it hurt me to see him like that. I've never seen him like that. So it hurt me to see him like that. And I was like, you are so much stronger than this. Like, you know, we can't say that this. We can't say that this is a lesson learned because obviously this isn't what God had for you. So you're gonna have to reap the repercussions of what you choose to do. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, I don't believe God did this. But God didn't do that to you. You did that to you. This is what He was trying to get you to not have to go through, but you chose to do it anyway." Okay, there's that. So.
So if you're just joining us, I am sitting here with the lovely Kayla Stuson. We are talking, we're kind of going through a little journey right now, but we're talking about her and her husband and how they met and how they got together. So keep watching, y'all.
So when at that point, he came clean about a lot of stuff, but because we had actually, I had kind of started talking to my ex again, and I was like, this ain't it. There was so many red flags, like, from the jump. And I kept telling myself that it wasn't necessarily my ex that I wanted, but the time that it was when I didn't have a lot of responsibilities. I didn't have any kids. I was just kind of like working. I was going home. I was partying. I was living my best life. And he was there and he was about that. So it wasn't really him that I wanted, but the idea of him. Mm-hmm. And so when that finally hit, I was like, nah, bro, you still doing the same stuff that made us break up in the first place. I'm cool on you. So me and Marcus kind of, like, we had to co-parent, obviously. But I started putting boundaries in place. I was like, if you're coming before 9. Mm-hmm. If you ain't here by 9, ain't nothing for us to talk about. Because, like, for the first couple of months, if it's not about Xavier, do not call me. We used his mom as a dropping spot. So I wouldn't have to see him if I didn't want to. And I think that's what really drove it home for him. Like, I'm not playing. Like, I specifically remember telling him, like, just leave me alone.
Wow.
And
what made you really feel that way?
I think because of who it was, and like, so my mom has like a sister group. She was in that sister group. So when they would go out and do everybody's birthdays and whatever, and I would be with them unknowing.
Right.
And so
you put me in the way of looking like Boo Boo the Fool. Did she know?
She knew, because she threatened. She would threaten to tell him. She would threaten him that she was going to tell me.
Wow. So was there a reason why, like, he said he wasn't telling you at the time?
I mean, we were young. I mean, we were talking early 20s.
Yeah.
Like early 20s. But he was like, she listens. She understands. Ladies, she listens. She understands me. She takes the time to serve the need, stroke the ego, basically. And after, my parents divorced, I was like, I ain't doing it. Me and my mom had a motto, right? Me and my mom's like, we don't need no man. I can do this by myself. I mean, changing tires, fixing toilets, and then turn around and cook the dinner. Okay? Like, that's to this day. See, I just fix our toilet. Actually, I messed up our garbage disposal and I completely took the whole thing apart. And then I sent the picture to Marcus and said, I tried to fix it. I can't do it. We're going to have to call a plumber. He was like, what? He was like, well, you can fix it. I think it's going to get fixed. Anywho.
See, I'm the opposite. Babe.
Nope.
Babe. The light came on in the car. I don't know what to do. Babe. Now, listen. I know what to do. But
I'm like, I ain't got time to be waiting on nobody just to get this done. I can fix it. I used to tell him that. He's like, Kayla, stop. I'm like, look, between YouTube, TikTok now, between YouTube, Pinterest, I'll figure it out. We ain't calling nobody. I'm like the husband that's like, would you call a plumber? What you call a plumber for? We can fix this. And he's like, no. But in doing all of that, like I said, we put boundaries in place. I put my foot down, and then I realized how far we had gotten from the friendship. So in that time frame, we kind of started, because I was almost like a stranger to him again, because I did not want to interact with him. It hurt too bad. Like, I was like, I love you too much, and it hurts too bad to have you right here, but not have you. So for my mental state, I have to keep you at bay. Right. Marcus went through a really deep depression for a long time during that period, not necessarily just with me, but just with a lot that was going on in his life at the moment. His hurt, his mourning for that relationship, and having to, like, we couldn't cut and dry because we had a kid.
Right.
So when we just kind of naturally started talking more, and he was like, he's like, I think I really want to do this. Like, he didn't say this to me, but he told me this after that. He's like, I was like, she really loves me. She has prayed with me. She has prayed over me. She is still here. We're still making this work. But I never really put the effort in. So when he decided to go ahead and start putting the effort in, is when things really started to change. But I remember I told my friend I was like, she's also in my Beautifully Blessed group, said, this dude's got till August.
Wait a minute.
At this point, we had been in it almost 5 or 6 years at that point. And I was like, I done gave you my whole 20s. This is supposed to be like, you know what your 20s is for. You know what your 20s is for. So I'm like, where did I get my whole 20s? And I'm like, this dude got till August.
I didn't have a whole face. So I don't know what I was married by 22.
Yeah. Well, y'all know. I think, like, I was scrolling through TikTok, and I was going to say, what is her name? Kylie Jenner said it. She's like, you know what your 20s is for? We didn't. So, but it was so funny because he proposed in June.
So she spoke and prayed into existence.
No, I'm just like, I ain't prayed for nothing. I said, Lord, I don't know what I want or need. I just, whatever you got, I'm here for it. I'm strapped in. Let's go. Where are we going? But yeah, so
that was June of what? What year?
Father's Day of 2015.
Okay.
He did it at our church in front of the exiting congregation. He had made a sign and said, will you marry my daddy? And Zay was holding it. And he had called my entire church and most of my family. that he could get in touch with, and they had lined the exit corridor, and Zay was standing there with his dad behind him, and that's how he asked him for him.
That's so sweet.
I was so confused. He was so mad at me because he was like, "You can go get your nails done." I was like, "Okay." And normally I do like softer colors with the little guy at the thing. He's like, "You should do orange." I was like, "You know what? You're right." I came home. Marcus was like, "Why are your nails orange?" They were orange and pink. Cause it was spring. I mean, summer. You know what I mean? Like, so I want to keep
you normally do bold colors. Okay.
No, I normally did like lights and like baby pink. I came home with orange and pink nails, y'all. He was like, I was like, "What? What's the matter? You don't like them?"
Nah, because he had a plan on how you should do it.
And that's my outfit though.
So that's all that matters.
My dress is like brown and beige.
That's all that matters, Martha. She did.
But yeah, so that's what that happened, and we got married 365 days later.
Literally,
1
year to the date.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's dope. I love it.
We had the small intimate ceremony because our church wouldn't do our premarital counseling if we were living together. So we got married and then finished up our premarital counseling. It's a different conversation. So there is that. And then in September, Just know it was what it was, y'all. Just know it was what it was. And then in September, all these people started inviting themselves to our wedding. And so we were like, you know what? Bet. Wedding's open, Marcus. Wedding's open. Open wedding. Y'all be at People's Church this time, this day. And then we had a family-only, like, VIP checklist reception. But then we knew friends that back then, there was a club down there called Candy.
Oh.
And Marcus knew the bouncer promoter. And so the first 100 people that came in said that they were with the Stuson party got in free. So we had the reception for the family, and then we had a club for.
Oh, then that was dope. Heck yeah.
Swings, all that. Girl, so much fun.
So you partied.
Hey, yeah.
Okay, so.
It was fun.
So, knowing the institution of marriage. So you just told me about the great wedding and how your journey. Right, the journey to get there.
Now the marriage is dope.
Let's talk about the marriage.
The marriage is dope.
Okay.
I will say we will be married. It'll be 8 years this June, and the growth from both of us has been crazy. Marcus and I actually lead our marriage group at our church. Thank you for coming. That's how I'm happy.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Through the grapevine.
Yeah.
But we both lead that. We have our own marriage ministry as well, Marriage Chronicles. You can find that Facebook, Instagram. Marcus has all the platforms. Marriage Chronicles, our YouTube is on there. Where one Sunday, Pastor Goins said, no, it's Charles. Charles said that, your story is your testimony. And it had been really laying on me and Marcus. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of how our Marriage Chronicles started. We did one video that basically told a very condensed version of our story. Mm-hmm. And God was like, keep going. We were like, keep going, what? And so, like, the first couple of our videos, like, we had only been married. So we did the real marriage in June, the big ceremony in September, and moved to Texas in November.
That's a lot.
Marcus on a whim applied for a job and got it. He initially applied for one in Chicago, and I was like, well, wherever you go, I'm going. Like, let's go. So we wanted to back the boys up.
Oh, Lord.
But he ended up not getting that. We ended up down here where my sister is. Like,
because if you had told me you applied for a job in Chicago, I was like, okay, me and the kids will be here. I
was like, we married now, bro. I was married now. Like, where we going to Chicago? I was like, okay. I mean, just pack some more coats. Like, we'll figure it out.
Anybody that marries me know.
That's still my mindset. Like,
but you must be able to adapt in cold weather and all of that.
I hate
it.
But if that's where my husband was going to be, then that's where he's going to be.
Yeah. So whoever you send to me this way, right? Just know she don't do cold.
Keep me south, Lord. Keep me south.
She don't do cold. Okay.
But now we made it work.
My ex-husband knew. Don't you try to move me to no northern states. Absolutely not. Me and Colin will be right here.
But I want to say New York was so loud.
Oh no. No.
I'm a big Broadway fan. No. So I would have been. Jazz hands and squares the whole way.
Still, look, it's the cold weather. I can't.
I mean, how often are you really outside like that though?
yeah, but then it's seasonal depression. And okay, that's the therapist side of me coming in.
I mean, it's been great. I will say, like, within these last couple of years, our communication skills have had to change. Our openness has had to change because Marcus played football since he was 4. And so I had to tell him one day, I was like, I am not one of your teammates. I came from a house full of women. You cannot talk to me like that. Which wasn't like in any kind of like disrespectful manner at all. It was just the tone in which he spoke and like the directness. I was like, I apologize. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I just said a sentence. I was like, but it's how you said it. You had a little bass in your voice, sir. I didn't like that.
It was too much bass.
It was too much. I didn't like it.
What would you say has been the most challenging things? So besides like the tone, is there anything else like that you can pinpoint in the communication that was rough for you guys?
Again, it wasn't what he said, it was how he said. Marcus and I both have like facial expressions, like my face is more than my mouth did. And so I have to tell him, like, I finally got to a point where I was like, your face. Or we, for a period of time, we would either say, deposit or withdraw. Mm-hmm. And so, like, if he said something that hurt me, I'm like, that's a withdrawal.
Mm-hmm. And so I know immediately what you're talking about. Can you explain to the people?
So if Marcus was to say something to me that was made me feel good, was uplifting, or I accepted, I would accept it as a deposit. That's something that you're putting into me and I take it.
Emotional bank.
But yes, but if you say something that I did not accept, that hurt me or whatever, I was withdraw. Because you're taking from me instead of putting in me.
And guys, she's actually talking about something that I about in the workshop that I'm doing in March and July and in October. But the first one this year is in March. It's 7 principles for making marriage work. And she's really talking about small things often is what a part of that workshop is, where you're depositing into your significant other's emotional bank. And if you are always depositing, when you do make a withdrawal, then it won't hurt or sting as much as when you're making those positive deposits in there. So go to my website, go to candyologycs.com, and I think it's /7 workshop. And see what that's all about. You'll see this little flyer that you can't really see on this camera, but it says a 6-hour workshop provides proven tools to help couples improve friendship, fondness, and admiration, enhance romance and intimacy, manage conflict constructively, gain skills to address perpetual and solvable problems, create shared meaning, maintain goals throughout a lifetime. And I promise you, 6 hours is really not how long it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a 2-day thing, 6 hours on one day, 6 hours on another. But I've kind of condensed it for the first one for you guys. So come on out. And we did push. So rewind. One of the so there is a member of her congregation that Jay, the Heels, right? So I am also a bedroom candy consultant, and I did their the bachelorette party. So and she also knew that I did a whole bunch of things with sexology and classes and whatnot. And I ended up doing a class for her church for my Spice course. If you don't know what that Spice course is, please go to Candyology CS and read all about it. But it is basically a course to teach you how to spice up your relationship.
It was a really good course. We got the condensed version.
Yeah.
We were like, we're ready. I need more notes. Because baby, that Q&A was like rapid fire. I said, y'all don't have to set y'all the point.
Right.
We ain't got much time.
Right.
It's 8:45. We got it.
And honestly, like I've gotten a lot of people come to consultations out of that, and I really, first of all, I appreciate the referral. Thanks, Jay. And then Kayla stays promoting, so hello.
Need it.
So one of the things that I wanted to ask you about is have you guys had any issues with other people in your relationship, like women or men coming in to try to push into your relationship?
No, me and Marcus always have shown a combined front. Like, it's, if you see me, you see him. Mm-hmm. If you see him, you see me. Mm-hmm. I'm very big on the missus. MRS, my ring stays on. Hey, ma'am, I'm married. I'm like, hey, can I help you with your I'm married. No, I'm real quick flashing. But no, and I think too, because of the type of friendships that we choose to have, the circles that we run in, very respectful. One of my friends, I remember we needed something. I was like, hey, can you text Marcus real quick? I don't have my phone. She's like, I got his number. I was like, you don't have his number? Like, we've been here for like 5 years. She goes, I have your number. What do I need his number for? And she was the same way on social media. She was like, he ain't gonna post nothing you ain't gonna post. I don't need to be his friend. I said, okay, you can friend him. You can friend him. Now, I will say, like, since we've been married, no issues. Since we've been married, no. But again, it's because of the type of people that we choose to run with. Mm-hmm. And like we stay on all the background, all the backdrops, and like his location stays on. He texts like, hey, I'm at work. Hey, I just got home. Hey, I'm about to leave. Hey, I'm on my way. Like, but that goes back to when we first started to try again after he dropped the bomb. It was a really big trust thing. He never wanted to create an environment where I did not trust him again. So he has done all these things to show that there's nothing like the phone's not face down no more. It's not silent. Like, it's not like, okay, I'm at home, it's none of that.
So how did he show you, or how did he build that trust back up? Because that's a foundation of most marriages, trust and commitment.
It was day by day, and realizing that it couldn't all be on him. I had to create the space to allow myself to trust him again. So if he said that it was what it was going to be, I had to trust and leave it for that it was going to be until he proved me otherwise. And he hasn't yet to prove me otherwise.
I love that. Yes, go, bro. Go. But you mentioned, you made a comment, you mentioned before the marriage. Was there something that happened before the marriage?
There was friends that, you know how women got like that third eye, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I'm telling you, bruh, you saying this, but I'm telling you this. And he's like, I've known her since kindergarten. No. And I'm like, and sure enough, I forgot where we were in our relationship. But I remember it was after Xavier was born. And I remember him telling me that she was like, well, I know like now isn't a good time. And I'm like, so do you think there's going to be a later? Like... I was so mad at him. So what I did was I was like, okay, well, your 30th is coming up. Let's invite her to the birthday party. If she's your friend, then she's going to show up regardless, right? Mm-hmm. Wedding. He was like, that's my friend. I was like, she ain't coming to my wedding. No. And so I was like, okay, you know what? Go ahead. Didn't show up. Everything that we invited her to that I was going to be at.
Because she secretly wanted him, and that's fine. She secretly had feelings for him, and that's fine. It's okay, because you got him.
Look, the house, the life insurance policies, kids. I was like, I love you, babe. Well, but no, so, but I mean, it was just some of those things, which I mean, Marcus has never expressed to me fully like his mindset or thought process or how he felt regarding my ex, because he was never in a relationship with her. It was always like a miss. Mm-hmm. But he's never. But my cutoff game is real. Like when I'm with somebody or committed in with somebody, mm-hmm. like you are dead to me. But he doesn't function like that because he thinks it's me. And I'm like, mental health. Oh, that shit. Oh no, baby, I don't know. Like if we're done, like you are blocked and then deleted.
Yeah, no. I'm friends with every single ex except for 2. And one was because he was having a simultaneously relationship with me and his wife, and didn't tell me. And then the other one was just very verbally abusive. So I would never be friends with you anyway. So
honestly, my thought process was like, we didn't work for a reason, and I don't have the space to keep you here. So because the space that I'm allowing you to occupy could be occupied by the person that actually is trying or wanting to be with me. But that's just me.
Yeah, no, I honestly be telling people it is what makes work for your mental health, mm-hmm. right? Because I can handle it. Not everybody can handle that, right? Or can't handle the now I really got to cut you off because now you're disrespecting my new relationship, or all that kind of stuff. So yeah, to each his own.
Yeah,
Right?
to each his own. But I'd be like, shit, man.
So let me so after I met Kayla, right? I don't even know, did I just see it on Facebook or did you tell me about it? I don't remember. The I Am Enough
maybe a little bit. I think you saw it on the book face.
Yeah, I think I did see it on the Book of Faces.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I want to come. So can you tell them a little bit about what you do for these conferences?
Okay, so like I said, me and Marcus have Marriage Chronicles, but within Marriage Chronicles, I've kind of created like a subgroup, if you may, of just women. Like I love supporting women. I love pouring into women. If I could be somebody's Shelby, which was the one that told me not to do and pray with me and make the right choice, all of the things. I would love to be that for somebody. Minister Curry, she is my spiritual mom. If I could be somebody's Minister Curry, like that's what I want to do. So in my conferences, typically it's whatever I'm dealing with in that year. And I'm like, surely I'm not the only one. So the very first one that I did was behind closed doors, because we, as a woman, we typically have everything together until you shut the door behind us and we're falling apart. And I was like, I know I'm not the only one. I can't be the only one. So why not create a space where we can all come in and get fed together on this? So my very first one was with Tanika Butler. Musical guest was Nye Washington. And we had vendors at the space at this church. The next year, God was like, we're doing it again. I was like, oh, we are? And he was like, yeah. I said, all right. So we did miss a year because I got pregnant. I always do it in November. We missed a year because I was pregnant and COVID and all the rest of that. That following year, I did it with Grace J, and it was replenished because it was right after the conference. Because I was like, bro, I'm not at the conference after the pandemic. And I was like, I'm so trained. Like, there is nothing left to give. Like, my nerves are stressed out. My kids, we don't know what's going on. We don't know how this thing is moving. They just opened the world back up. Like, if I'm going to be open, then you got to put something back in me. So we ended up with Replenished, where she came in and she preached off the wall. She was talking about different trees and how they absorb their water and how I was like, oh my God, Grace. Musical guest that year was Chanelian. She came in with her crew, sung off the walls. And of course, we shopped and ate. And then the third year, I will say this, and you kind of heard some of this at the conference because she did attend. The third year, I didn't hear God, but I moved anyway. And so it gave, because it always gives, but it did not give in the manner that it normally gives. That year was, I can't remember the name of it, not Enough, not Replenished, but Identity. And what I wanted versus what the speaker taught on was kind of where I needed to be. It was still really good. It was more of like a motivational speech type thing, because she is a pageant coach, but she's also a minister at the same time. Okay. And so she was kind of telling you like what the Bible says about how to hold yourself up and present yourself and do the things, in which it was still good. Dana Hemphill sung that year. We were at a different location, but this year I was like, I ain't doing it. Well, I guess technically last year I was like, I ain't doing it. And I was like, I ain't heard nothing. I ain't moving on my own. I'm not doing it. No. And then this word enough kept popping up. And I was like, you know how we do, Lord, is that you? Right. Is this what you want me to do? Did you call? Oh, right? Okay. No, this ain't him. And I was like, this is a really random word to keep popping up. I mean, billboards, songs on the radio. Like, I was like, this is really weird. So I'm sitting in church and I get that heavy feeling again, like when you know he's about to say something to you and he's trying to get your attention. And I said, all right, Lord, I hear you. Okay, so look, God, if this is really you, then pastor's gonna say the word enough and I'm gonna do it. Like a minute or two later, he goes, haven't you cried enough? And I was like, grab my phone. I was like, start calling the folks. So the space that we normally do it at, I normally have to book it really far in advance because they have a men's breakfast typically around that same time. I called and they were like, yeah, you're Kayla Stuson with Marriage Chronicles. We missed you last year. I said, yeah, I'm trying to do that at a different spot. She goes, your contract is still here. Are you coming this year? I was like, that's the plan. She goes, well, what weekend? I said, oh, is this still available? She goes, yeah. She goes, you want the whole floor? You need ADL? I said, yeah. She goes, it's yours. Favor ain't fair. Oh. Right. Okay. And so she pulls the contract up and it's and $50 less than what it normally is. And I was like, I'm contract. Here's my money. And then it turned out that I was like, all right, guys, so you've given me the space. I need the speaker. I had attended a herpreneur conference in April and haphazardly got linked up with Tamaria Weaver, which plug to her. LEAP conference is coming January 19th and 20th in ATL. I will be there. I hope you're there. Met up with her. Yeah, I already got the hotel in my central. Okay. I was like, God, I need somebody, and her whole thing is serious about me. I'm enough. I'm enough. Like, who's telling you that you're not enough? We trying to eat right, drink right. I told y'all to drink water. Eat right, drink right, work out, feed the kids, go to work, be Jessica Rabbit. Like, oh my God. But who's telling you you gotta do that? You're enough. He created you sufficient for the season that you're in. And a lot of people are so worried about what's next, that you're not paying attention to now. So if you can't handle the now, why would he give you the next? But I'm not a preacher. I know my lane.
Hello.
So I contacted Tamaria and I was like, I need to know your honorarium so I can get my budget and stuff together. And she goes, just give me there. I said, real talk, mind you, I only was face to face with her for maybe like 2-3 days in April. And she goes, sis, just give me there and I'll take care of the rest. God booked the flight so quick. I said, 2 gifts a round trip, take my money. So I got her booked. I said, all right, guys, you've given me the space. You've given me the speaker. This is within a 3-week span. You've given me the word to move. You've given me the speaker. I need the song, the singer. And one of the girls from the church, Kendra, this is the first time she had ever led a song. And when I tell you she ain't led a song since then. The first time Kendra ever led a song. And I said, mutant lungs. Clark got her after church and said, I did not know you could sing like that. And she said, yeah. I said, well, can I bring you in? She said, yeah. And so I got, everything was in order. I had a bunch of sponsorships that normally never happen. A bunch of sponsorships came in. My homegirl, Dominique Brown, D Brown Event Planning, she came in and completely it was so hands off. Like D made that thing run like clockwork, baby. We
and it was beautiful.
She table settings, scheduling, working with the space to make sure everything was set up the way I needed to set up. There was a lot of stuff that went wrong that she told me after the fact, but I had no idea, which is what a planner does.
A good coordinator planner.
D Brown Events.
Hello. I'll tell you all that.
So
while it's happening.
Right. She's a beast. She was a beast. But vendors came out of nowhere. Like I literally planned the whole thing in a 4-week span.
Wow.
I've never done that before.
I did not know that.
It all got
week by week. It didn't look like that.
Thank you. Because that's what I'm saying. Like, and they're like, what we doing next year? I said, I don't know. He ain't said nothing to me yet. But now that I know how to listen for him in that season, I feel like this next year is going to make it like, whatever we do. Absolutely. So I like to create the spaces for the women to come in. Like I said, I'm not a speaker, but I do have a following. And if I'm going to have a following, I might as well use it as a platform for somebody else.
Exactly. Oh, all it. Okay, don't get me started. Okay. And I really enjoyed myself. I think more than anything, it was the love, the outpour of love that was coming from each lady. That because my personality anyway, but I tend to be recluse when I don't know all the people in the room, right? And so people was like, "Hey, who are you?" And I was like, I'm Ken. Hi, how you doing?"
But I mean, but again, it goes back to what does your circle look like? And I don't want a lot of negative people around me. I don't want a lot of, you like, ha, my face, but then whatever, like the people that are around me are genuine.
Right.
And so that's typically the type of people that gravitate towards these spaces because it is a safe space. It's not streamed. Everybody and their mama wants to stream stuff right now. I'm not streaming this because you saw it. It gets deep. And so it's not, it is all women. I think the only guy was there was because somebody had offered the videography. So it was him and my husband. It's an all women environment.
Yeah. And that sometimes that's the best, much needed environment, especially when women can be completely negative and tear each other down instead of build each other up.
And she talked about that.
And that's all I'm about, building each other up. Y'all know, don't come to me with that negativity. But listen, girl, do you know how, I mean, like this hour has gone by so quickly, right? So we definitely have to come back because there's more for you to say. I already know.
Yeah.
But okay, a couple of things.
Yes.
We talked about family. We talked about ministry, right? Tell the people what your business is.
So Thrive Consulting and Financial Planning, we specialize in creating, I hate using this term because it's been so oversaturated, but generational wealth. Basically what we do is we take the index and we are able to create cash out of it to fund multiple policies. So learning how to take a life insurance policy to create multiple streams of income while not exhausting the life and policy itself. I specialize with children. I have a child capital program, which basically funds life insurance, a retirement plan, and a wealth seed off of one $30 payment. I showed it to you. Was it easy to understand when I explained it?
Yes, it was very easy to understand. Okay. And I don't know if my people have caught, but
I got you. Yeah. Yes. But
definitely save some people.
I strive to keep it as plain as possible. It drives me insane. One of my biggest pet peeves is when people overcomplicate stuff. It's not that complicated. I also understand that people have a budget, and even if you might need the $500,000, that might not be a realistic thing for you right now, but that's okay because we're a strategist. So if I can't get you there at the end, then I'm going to show you how to get there. Explaining mortgage protection, term insurance, return of premiums, IUL policies, whole life policies, burial expenses, annuities, like we do it all.
And she knows her stuff, guys. So there wasn't any question that I asked that she didn't know the answer to or was going to get the answer to real quick. So definitely, how can they get in touch with you?
You can reach me at Thrive, C as in Charlie, F as in Frank, P as in Paul.com, thrivecfp.com. Facebook is Thrive Consulting Financial Planning. Instagram is Thrive_CNFP. But the best way to catch me, honestly, is through my website. There's a contact form on the bottom, and you can go in and schedule a one-on-one consultation. It is a Zoom because I like to show you guys things in real time. So if you have questions and you want to see changes, it drives me insane when people take all my information and they like disappear with it.
Right.
And come back. I got you. I'm like, okay, but you got me from A to C, but what happened to the B? I like to show the B. So that's the best way to find me is at the website.
So, and then you said Marriage Chronicles on Instagram.
Yeah, _marriage,
And what was the YouTube one?
The Studsons.
The Studsons. Okay, guys. So listen, you know my name is Candy J. If you've been rocking with us for this whole hour, we appreciate you. Even if you're watching the replay, we would appreciate you. Make sure that you like, subscribe, ring that bell so that you can come back for more mental health tips, marriage tips, business. Candyology is all about love, sex, and relationships. So, look forward to some sex tips coming in the new year, right? I've been kind of shying away a little bit from them. But people need the intimacy and the sex talk, so let's go, y'all. But come back next Sunday. Who's on my show next Sunday? Lakeisha Howard is coming to talk about a little bit of journey that she went through from single to a relationship to grieving to, oh my God, it just come back and watch, okay? All right, and I am wishing you love-filled days and orgasmic nights. Have a wonderful Sunday, guys. Bye. Bye.